Hello viewers, welcome to another exciting episode of the Muslim Bawa Show, and I'm your host Muslim Bawa Holy. We all have our way of changing this kind of world we are living in. There are some people who are trying their best to change the world through feeding. There are people who are trying to change the world through clothing. But on our show today, this man has tried his best to change the world through books and then through reading. He is in the name of Muhammad Inusah, which we know him more as Maazi Okoro. So, bro, welcome on the show.
Thank you very much, Muslim Bawa.
Yeah, I think today we had to follow him. Book for the just say about fee, and then is a time they are in the library, so you have to follow them in here. So if you are here, we just want you to very snappy. Yeah, who is Maazi? Who is Maazi? In the first place, we're just doing two things here: the personality and then more of the organization. That is Success Book Club, I think.
Okay,
So let's just click it up.
as you rightly said, my name is Inusah Mohammed, but friends, enemies, and loved ones choose to call me Maazi Okoro. It's a Nikki, I got from SHS way back 2007. What else? I work as a service advisor with CFA Ghana Limited.
Okay.
I schooled at University of Professional Studies Accra. Before that, Accra Polytechnic. Raleigh Senior High School, St. Cecilia's Military School in Nima, Dr. Cecilia Islamic School in Nima too. What else? I was born in a family of 5. 2 girls, 3 boys. And I'm a Nima boy, basically.
We can see that he's a Nima boy, basically. So let's just head into the Success Book Club. Do you mind telling us more with regard to Success Book Club?
Okay, so Success Book Club is an organization we formed in 2015 to give the youth a platform to develop and uplift themselves and make monumental impacts in their selves, their communities, and the world at large. You understand? Growing up, I loved reading. I was introduced to reading by my mom. She used to buy me books, she used to beat me to read and what have you. So if you are very passionate about reading, you would love others closer to you to read. There are certain times, you think the whole world will move ahead when everybody reads what you are reading because you are so engulfed by the contents of the book. So true readers always want others to also read because there is something about reading that only readers understand and appreciate, and they can't describe it. They can't aptly capture the feeling. It's words cannot describe it, if I could say. Understand? So we those who loved reading in the community decided to open it up for others to come together to read. So what we do basically is we suggest a book for the month, we read, then we meet to discuss it. In discussing it, we gain ideas from people who shook the world, we gain ideas from people who are moving the world, we gain ideas also that would prepare us to throw more light in our community. We come from a very dark community. Like we shouldn't mince words in stating that. So we'll have to change our community. And the only way we can change our community is to learn for the community. America Cabral, one of the leaders of Africa, is telling us that if you want to change the circumstances of the people, you must learn for them.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah. So
you must learn how the people live. You must learn how some people did it, so that you can also replicate it in your community. There is nothing new under the sun. So that is what we do. From 2015, it's 5 years rolling. We've read more than 40 books, 40 different kind of books, biographies, autobiographies, what's the name? Fiction, non-fiction, motivational books, inspirational books, personal memoirs, and what have you. A lot of books that touch on various aspects of life. We've read them. We are still reading. This month we are reading a book by McCormack, if I have it here. What They Don't Teach You in Harvard Business School. This is the book we are reading this month. What They Don't Teach You in Harvard Business School. It basically teaches you there are certain things you need in life which you will not learn in the classroom.
Yeah.
You must learn them on the street. If you have to be book smart and street smart, especially we coming from the Zoom community, you have to be book smart and street smart. And book smart and street smart are people who really change the world.
Apart from the fact that you reading these books within the months, do you have any other projects you do embark on?
Yeah, we have projects that we embark on. In 2016, I remember we took a trip to the northern part of Ghana to donate some books to Nswanayili DA Primary School.
Wow.
It's the name of the village alone should tell you where the part of the world
Exactly.
Nswanayili is a community between Bambaliga and Wolensi.
Wow.
We went there to do some donation to. So that is far. Within us near, we donated books to Al Banat Preparatory School, books, and formed a reading club over there. We also, the last time we went to the Akuman and Chosin Children's Center to donate some books and create a reading, what's the name? Reading club of sort of in that orphanage. You understand? So these are some of the projects we do. Also, our discussions also sometimes take the form of fora or symposia or seminar where we invite prominent people into the community to discuss and uplift the spirit of the youth. Some of the notable names that came into the community, we have Manasseh Azuri Awuni, the award-winning journalist. We have, what's the name? The former National Media Commission chairman, Kwesi Jana Penting, who happened to be the Ghana Association of Writers president then. He was in the community. Fred Awa, who happened to be the former All African Students Union Secretary General, who was also in the community. Rasmo Barak, MP for Kumbungu, was also in the community to lead a discussion when we read the book, Who Moved My Cheese. I remember Murtala Mohammed, former Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, was also here in Newtown to lead the discussion of the autobiography of Malcolm X, which we read somewhere 2016. So these are some of the things that we do. Also, we provide a platform for our people to, push themselves. As I speak now, a colleague of a reader, we call our members readers. A reader just landed in Sweden 3 days ago to study for his masters. Okay. That's for this year. We have other people, about 5 or 4 readers that have traveled out to do their masters. 3 are in the United States of America, 1 is in London, 1 is in Saudi. He came down. And there's a young girl also we pushed to go to have this Obama Leadership Foundation in the Washington DC. Wow. She went there and
all from the Success Book Club.
Yes, from the Success Book Club. So though we are young, and we do things on a shoestring budget and shoestring way, but still we are making real impact in the community.
Okay, and then taking that into consideration, with regard to you donating to institutions within Accra and then outside Accra, how do you fund this?
It's self-funded. We don't have funding from anyone. It's passion from the people. The passion is indescribable. The love for reading is, it's overwhelming. You understand? So you have young people. If they say we are embarking on this discussion to this particular school, everybody will contribute his or a Windows Smart. Everybody will bring his or her own. Then we organize it and we take it. I remember last 2 years we donated some books to the Nsawam Medium Prison. Yeah. Yes, I remember vividly, and it was wonderful. The prisoners loved it. They embraced it because we also believe that books can provide that platform or that leverage for you to transform your life. Exactly. There is nothing that is not transformable in this world. Yeah. There is no situation that is not transformable, as stated by Desmond Tutu. So we believe that, and we believe books can provide that vehicle. So we donated some books to the Nsawam Medium Prison, self-funded by members of Success Book Club. We don't get funding from anywhere.
Okay, self-funded from the members of the Success Book Club, that is the readers. On this note, I think we will go for a very quick commercial break. When we return, I think we will be discussing literacy within our society. That is for our next segment. Stay tuned and don't turn it off.
miato evao no to nyinko enye efu delanyo kojo meja kafu na akpo Muslim Bawa Show ele mi agbo vale memre pe siare le fie nkanyi me he avale KR Life Media laji novi ko ope phone ope TV darefma enya kata mi akpo ado jore mi ato le amen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nini dan wanku Musbah Ishaq, Public Relation Officer na Tarbiyya Foundation. Muna recommend wannan program ko wanga na the Muslim Bawa Show. Naji jama'a ne ko ce media ne suna kokari sosai, suna taimaka da al'umma na Ghana. Yasa muna recommend su, muna baku kada ka yi wasa da watch wannan program, suna kokari sosai. Muna roƙon Allah ya saka musu da alheri.
Welcome back. As we discussed earlier on, I think we'll be discussing literacy within our society. And our guest here is from Nima. You could see from the look itself, that's a typical Nima boy. Yeah. So we'll be discussing literacy in here. Firstly, how do you see the literacy concept within our society? Take into consideration our community, the
Nima finds itself in Accra. Accra is in Ghana, and Ghana itself finds itself in a community of nations. You understand? We find ourselves in the world. The world itself is reeling, complaining. The World Literacy Foundation is complaining that there is paucity of literacy in the world. Yeah, they brought some statistics a few months ago about over 2.8 million children worldwide do not read, do not have literacy. And it's very, very serious. It's very, very appalling. So that is the world itself. Not to talk of Africa, not talk of Ghana and talk of Nima. So because if green leaves are burning, how much more dried ones? You understand? Yeah, so the situation is terrible. Usually when we talk about literacy, we think it's about opening books and whatever. No. Literacy on the streets, how many drivers know the road signs? These are all part of literacy. The carnage on our roads is you can what's the name, pinpoint literacy as one of the causes of these carnage on our roads. Drivers don't know speed ramp, sign, they don't know how to read. Some people can see the kilometer from here, you have to reduce your speed to this particular kilometers, and they don't know. They bypass that, so it causes a whole lot of carnage in the community. So bringing it back to the literacy, the reading aspect is very low. In Ghana, we always mention the time of Nkrumah as the best time Ghana was Ghana, when Ghana was moving forward. And Nkrumah's time was a time when literacy was on its feet. There was presidential edict. The president was supporting literacy. You see the old people in our community, you see old people buying papers. You see them, they buy papers, Spectator, Mirror, Weekend this, Weekend that, Daily Graphic, and they hold these statues of newspapers. They make sure they read, consume everything before the day ends. How many of our youth today buy newspapers? When was the last time you were at the newspaper stand? You understand? Yeah. So the president used to award people for literacy. I sat on the same panel with Professor Tukwe Ukai, the late Professor Tukwe Ukai. And he said he once won the best poet nationwide. Wow. And he received an award from Sajefro Otokwame Nkrumah. And that is the highest point, one of the highest points in his life. You understand? How many literacy programs do we have in Ghana now where we have a presidential award or presidential edit to such effect? We don't see it. So in our communities, it's bad. Our young ones don't know how to read. The elders themselves don't know how to read. Teachers don't radiate reading. When you have a teacher who is passionate about reading, he will radiate the spirit into the children, such that even when he's not around, he has been able to imbue in the children that love for reading, that they will also develop, do it or cultivate it on themselves. But we don't see it in our community. It's bad. It's terrible. I've taught before. I've taught in the local schools before. I still teach vacation classes or after school classes for our children. And the situation is bad. So we are trying to ameliorate it. Two also is we don't have libraries in our communities. The only library we have in Nimama is far outskirts of town. Before you walk there, and sit in the library, you're already tired, you're already exhausted. By the time you open a book, you are asleep. You understand?
Yeah.
But there are no books also for children. Books that entice young people. Books that uplift your soul and raise your hackles when you read. We don't have them in the libraries. So that is also another situation. The third one is the Ghana Library Authority should be up and doing. We don't see that. We don't even know. Do you know the CEO of the Ghana Library Authority? We don't know him. The children don't know him. The children don't know them. The children don't even know we have Ghana Library Authority.
I never knew.
In the past, we had mobile vans, mobile libraries. People bring cars with books for children to sit in for some time to read. We no more have them in our communities. We no more have them, and that is the situation. It's very, very appalling. So, on our own small way, in our own small way, we find a young person who we think, okay, this guy is good. This guy, when we guide him, he can go forward. We start introducing him to books. So one or two times, you see, I will lure the children to come here to organize books for themselves and go and read, or I'll cajole them and coerce them to read at least a page or two before they go. You understand? My friends, anytime I meet you, usually I give you books. Me, I don't give money. I don't give. The gift I'll give you is book. Yes, because I believe with book, you can change your life. So these are in our own small way, that's what we are doing. But it should be up on a nationwide scale so that we have a very good country. A reading country is a winning country. You understand? A reading country is a winning country. And also, an enlightened citizenry is an empowered citizenry. If you have a citizenry that is enlightened, NDC and MPP wouldn't come and be fooling in the country.
Okay.
You understand? But all of us have our sides.
Yes,
But
exactly.
both have let the country down. Wow. You can't pinpoint JJ's time as the best time for this country. You can't pinpoint. You always pinpoint Nkrumah's time. You understand?
Yeah.
So it means both parties have failed us. But because if you go to the villages and because people are not enlightened and you see the way politicians hoodwink them, you see the way politicians explain things to them, if you go there, you can kill yourself because of the paucity of information, paucity of knowledge. They are not enlightened, so the politicians usually bamboozle them to go and vote for them. But when we have an enlightened citizenry, one can just sit down and analyze the truth from the lies.
Okay.
You understand? And go and choose the best candidate for us. Because we are not enlightened, also, last point, we can't hold our leaders accountable. We can't hold leaders into account. How many Ghanaians know that you can sit our member of parliament down and let him account for us? But we don't do it. No one knows. Nobody can go to the MCE to ask her, what have you done with our common fund for this period of time? Nobody knows. We're just moving on. And the country is just as it is, sinking sand.
Wow. As you said, a reading country is a winning country. So we bring this segment to an end, and then we urge you all to stay. We have the fun time coming in here. I think we've learned a lot in here. Just quite minutes, but what we've learned is very huge, very huge. So keep the dial locked in here. Don't change it. We have the fun time, so stay there.
The Muslim Bawa Show is brought to you by Wellbeing Body Talk, Highliest Glamorous, Susanat Bleach, Shanti Creation, Holy Special, Haskina Believer Enterprise, and Z Bakery.
Hello, and welcome back. I think this is the fun time. Maazi has been reading. To say you need maybe a question, but let's try. Amber, I think our first question is what is the Ghana's oldest landmark?
Ghana's
Oldest landmark?
Larabanga Mosque.
Exactly, it's Larabanga Mosque. Okay, when was the first military coup carried out in Ghana?
That's the dark day, the darkest day in Ghana. You understand? Ghana's day of shame. I think it happened on the 24th of February 1966, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You say, wow. I like it, baby.
From February.
Ghana's day of shame.
Okay.
That's the day Ghana started moving backwards.
Exactly.
What can say, Mama,
Okay, what is the longest river in the world?
Longest river. Hey, you know River Jordan or
No, I don't think so.
River Lake Mississippi? Mississippi. Is it a lake or river?
Go and ask your grandfather.
River Nile.
Yes, River Nile. And then the highest mountain in Britain.
Hey, I don't think
Really?
in Britain. In Britain.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Okay, Ben Nevis. That is the highest mountain in Britain. When did Ghana start producing oil?
No, we started producing oil for long ago, but when did we start? When did we start commercial?
Yes.
2007, right? First final year or
I think 2010.
2010. Ah, okay. FP also at almost.
Okay, and then who composed the Ghana national anthem?
Okay, so there's a bit of confusion here. The Ghana national anthem was composed by a man called Dr. Michael Bozue. Dr. Michael Bozue. But the one who gave the melody.
I think you should give this to the
Yeah, Dr. Michael Bozue said he has the wedding. He has the original wedding. But he came to say it long after Philip Behu died. So it's a matter of contention. So since we were young, who composed the national anthem is Dr. Philip Behu.
Okay, and who made the Ghana coat of arms?
Hey! Coat of arms. Who designed it?
Yes.
National flag, I know is to Theodosia Oku. Is she the same person who did it?
No.
I don't know.
I think it's Enon Koti.
Imon Koti.
Yes.
Imon Koti.
Yes.
I think I've seen the name somewhere.
You've seen the name somewhere. Good. And then in which year did Kwame Nkrumah die?
1972. Died on 27 April
The love for Kwame Nkrumah is just too much.
Died far away in Bucharest, Romania.
Wow.
Sad.
Okay. So we are done with the question in here. My producer will work on the answers, whatever is deemed right for our guest today, Mohammed Inusah, aka Maazi Okoro, the leader. He will give it to him, inshallah. So, bro, do you have any last message?
Well, the final message is to I believe your majority of viewers should be the young people.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all can be great. Greatness is not for specific people who have fine teeth and nice face. No, it's for everyone. And I'm here to see a great person who had nothing to do with books or reading. You understand? I'm here to see any great person who had nothing to do with books or reading. Jesus Christ said us, for lack of knowledge, my people will perish. The prophet was put on the path of prophethood with a book. You understand? It's the Quran that put it. So, I mean, every great man could talk about the rich people in the world. They are saying we don't read much. Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos are telling us we don't read much. Warren Buffett. So, if we rich people are telling us we don't read, the poor people there, we must read more. So, let's all aspire to be great and we can be great.
Okay, and then do you have the social media handles?
Yeah, my social media reader Maazi Okoro on Facebook, Maazi Okoro Maazi on Instagram, and Maazi Inusah on Twitter.
And what of Success Book Club?
The Success Book Club is on Facebook. Success Book Club. You see us on Facebook. On Twitter at Success Book Club Africa. I don't have it on it.
That's it. If you are watching, you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That's KR Live Media. On Facebook is KR Live Media. On Twitter, KR Live Media. On Instagram, KR Live Media. And then www.krlives.com. If you go there, you'll see more of our work in there. Yeah. And then a very thank you to our brother Maazi Okoro for having us in his office. Yeah, in his office. And a very thank you to my crew, cameraman, DOP, that's NS, my producer, Sarota GH, my director, that is Chemist. We really appreciate your good work. So we end here, we say peace.